Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. This is the second part of a unbagging, I guess you could call it, of cameos. This is a cameo collection, and it belongs to a mother of actually a kid in both of my kids' classes. So I have a 3 and a 6-year-old, and she also has a preschooler and a first grader. So we got to talking, and it turns out that she does wonderful repurposing of jewelry and actually has an Etsy store. So I'm not sure which of these are going to be for sale, but if you are interested in the sale, I'll have a link to her Etsy store at the end of this. And if you missed part one, you missed some amazing cameos. Now, I don't actually know what's in this bag, but I do know that this appears to be ivory. I think it's ivory. I think it's onyx. It's definitely a diamond. We've tested that, and 14 karat. So I'm hoping that we find some pretty neat things in here. I'm guessing we will, given the first video. And if you missed that one, definitely go back and give it a watch. Okay, let's just continue here. I will, as I go through these, I'll try to speed things up in terms of repackaging. I want to keep all this neat and orderly for her, but I also don't want you to watch me folding up little pieces of paper. Oh, look at that. Isn't that a thing? Let's set this over here and have a look. So, cameos, and technically speaking, are where you have two different like layers or colors in a material, and you carve down through that material, so you expose a different color layer in the background, and then you have a raised portion in a different color. If it's actually inverse, that's actually not called a cameo. Sorry, I'm reaching over here. That's intaglio. And here you can see these are some of my intaglio cufflinks, which I believe you probably will have seen in another video. If not, it's coming soon. So this one, boy, this looks new. Look at that. Genuine cameo. That's true. It is definitely a genuine cameo. What else does this tag say? It says hand carved. I think so. Now, in this series of videos, what I'm going to be doing as I go through and open these up is I'm just going to be evaluating these from a quality standpoint. My notion when I'm out treasure hunting is if I can identify quality, if I can identify precious metals, then I'm going to be able to walk away with some pretty good stuff. So I don't really know cameos very well, but I do know precious metals, and I can recognize and see different grades of quality. Now, if we look here and you see this carving, it's nice. It is a genuine cameo, but if we compare it to, say, this other one from yesterday, the carving difference is stark. The quality difference is stark. So the cameo's quality of carving is the first clue that this is much more of a costume piece. The second thing is, see all these stones? They're actually glued in. And if this were like going to be a gold piece, actually made out of gold, all of the stones would actually be retained with metal, with the gold would be bent around them, keeping them in. So if we flip it over here, yeah, this kind of patterning is fairly typical of like a gold plate. And you can see it's a nice piece, but we have a lot of glue. I think this is glue, maybe. Not sure what that is. But we're not looking at something that's going to end up being gold because of these things. It's a very, very cool piece, especially with the original tag on it. But that is definitely a costume piece. So I'm going to put that into a safe place, and we'll continue on through here. Now I'm going to try to go through this a little more quickly if I can. Clearly there's a lot of this, and I spent a long time in the last video going through these. Okay. Now, I don't know the technical term for this, because what we're looking at here is we're looking at, a stone or glass. I'm not sure which yet. And the carving is an intaglio carving on the back. You see there? So it's actually carved in. But then the face of it, you can see through the beautiful stone. Or glass, I'm not sure which. Why don't we inspect this piece? I don't think this is going to be gold. It has a gold plate look to it. And that gold plate look has more to do with the... It's hard to explain. That's part of why I like to do these videos. But there's kind of a... When you have a piece of gold, and in fact, let me do something here. Here we go. Okay. So when you have a piece of gold with a design like this, generally speaking, that design is going to be carved into it. And do you see here, when we compare the two, how sharp the carving is compared on this 18 karat piece to this piece? And that sharpness has to do with the fact that this was cast with that pattern in it, as opposed to being carved out. This was actually carved by someone. And also because the plating on top fills it in a little bit, if that makes sense. The edges get a little more rounded because of that plate. All right, I'm going to set that ring over there. I'm going to open this up and we'll see. Yeah, so this is definitely a gold plate piece. So I'm guessing that is glass in there. I suppose it could theoretically be quartz, but I'd be very surprised. I think if they were making that out of quartz, they probably would have at least gone with gold fill on the bracelet. So that's very nice. And it's a neat piece, to be sure, but it's not precious metal. All right, let's continue. Oh my. Look at that. Okay, so first couple things I'm seeing here, we'll zoom in so you can see it too, is the quality of the carving is quite nice. And it looks like it's set with marcasites around the outside. And it is a true cameo. You can see where the white actually is part of the same material and it's carved down. So that's, I believe, a shell. And please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a cameo expert. I'm guessing probably silver, but we'll see what we see on the back. So it looks like we have a pendant and a pin, and we have a, let's just go ahead and close that pin up. Over here, I think I see the silver marking. Yeah, 800. So this is 80% silver. So it's not quite sterling, which is 92.5%. That is a very nice piece. Looks like Madonna and Child there. That is neat. And then 800 silver will typically indicate European. A lot of German silver in particular is 80% or 800 silver. Okay, let's continue through here. All right, so I think we have here some screw-on earrings. Now, the cool thing about these is that back in the day, or so I'm told and so I've read, ear piercings weren't really the thing. The thing was to have screw-on or clip-on earrings. You wouldn't pierce your ears unless you were lower class, as I understand it. So let's have a look at these. It looks like they're brass, probably plated at one time, and they're nice and they're real cameos. You can see if you're looking close here that's all one piece and it's carved down so that the darker color is exposed. They definitely have some corrosion. They could use a cleaning. No marks. But yeah, those are some nice old cameo earrings. Okay. Boy. We may be spending a lot of videos getting through all this, which if you like cameos, boy, this is going to be a real treat, isn't it? All right, first impression, real cameo. Quality of carving, not tip top. Looks like it's silver. I wonder if we're looking at another piece of 800. Yep, there it is, 800 silver. So I'm guessing maybe definitely European, definitely continental, maybe German. I'm not sure exactly where all these were made. Although a lot of times the German pieces will have the German hallmarks, and I don't see that here. All right, I don't think I'm going to even take this one out. So we've got a few things we can see here, even through the plastic. The pearls are all glued in. It looks like we probably have a two-piece cameo in that it's a one piece glued onto another piece. We have a fair bit of corrosion there, showing that this piece is brass. So that's an old costume piece. It's pretty cool, but it's not a precious metal. Hey, look at there. That would be, what, Queen Elizabeth, by the looks of it. And you can see here, even through the plastic, that we have some scratches. So we're looking at a nice gold-plated piece, and it doesn't look like it's a true cameo. I think we have like maybe a mass-produced piece where we have one piece glued onto another piece. Zoom out, keep going. Ooh, it's a big one. Oh, okay. So I believe this is, she told me that she made a charm bracelet out of some cameos, and I think that's what we're looking at right here. So why don't we inspect these cameos real quick to see sort of what quality they are. That one is sure nice. See the light coming through there. That looks like it's a real cameo. Was a pin at one point, but it doesn't look like it was like a precious metal. In fact, I bet it will be. No, is it? No, it is not. But I don't think that's silver. It doesn't look like silver. And you can see where there's brass that has come through. So that was a silver plated one. That's very nice though. She picked some very nice carvings. Looks like we're also looking at brass. Brass. Yeah, look at that. Makes for a very nice charm bracelet, to be sure. And again, at the end, I'll have a link to her her Etsy store. Here we can see we have brass also, probably gold plated. Oh, that's a pretty little one. Look at that. Oh, that's a locket. What do we have inside the locket? You can put your own pictures in there. So let's show this whole thing. I'm guessing she'll have this up on her Etsy, or potentially on request. That is nice. I'm going to wrap that one back up and put it away. All right, let's continue here. I'm sure the cameo collectors that are still with me are enjoying themselves, and everyone else is probably left. Oh my, that's pretty. Nice heart shape. So I'm guessing that this is not a true cameo in that I can't think of any natural material that's going to have these two colors going on. Nice piece. Looks like it's probably gold plated. First impression here, you see how we've got this seam. If that were gold, I don't think that would be the case. Oh, it looks like it might be marked. What does it say? Oh, it's gold fill. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Oh, and it says something here. Wedgwood. Okay. Made in England. So yeah, that would be, what, pottery if it's Wedgwood? Cool. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, this one's nice. Let's pull that out and have a close look at it. So again, we're looking at a real real cameo in that we have 2 layers of the same material, so it's like a shell, probably. And it's very nice carving. Very well done. It's ringed with pearls. And yeah, looks like so. Yep, there you go. You got 835 silver, so that's 83.5% silver. So that is definitely a very nice one. Going to be real pearls, seed pearls, I'm certain. I wonder, sometimes pearls will glow under a black light, but I don't know what the shell does. Why don't we try that while we're together, shall we? Let's see what happens. No, not getting a lot of, not really glowing. Well, oh no, look at how that shell's glowing. It is actually glowing. Interesting. Now, I don't know what kind of test that is. I mostly just like black lights, so. Ah! Sorry about that noise. All right, let's put this one away. Okay, let's continue through here. You know what? I'm going to hit this one with a magnet. No magnetism. Let's pull this out and have a closer look at it. One of the big things we are doing here is we're sorting this out so that we can sort of grade these in terms of their intrinsic value, in terms of like the precious metals. Because that's something I know how to do. I don't know the antique nature of these, but I can tell you if something's gold or silver. This is an interesting one. So it looks like it's one piece carved, which I believe would be, I don't know, would that be a cameo? I'm not certain if the classic cameo has to have 2 different tones of colors. So you can tell real quick that this is not going to be gold. It's definitely brass with gold plate on it, just because of the quality of the pin. That pin is not super duper. And I think it actually has a name of the maker right there. Coral? I think that's Coral, which is a very, very nice costume jewelry maker, which would explain the quality of that. So that's a nice one, but it isn't actually gold. All right, let's just... So this one, when I pick it up, we don't have heft. I'm guessing this one's plastic. Let's pull it out. We'll have a look. Yeah, that feels... Yep. That is an inexpensive plastic one. All right. Let's see what we have here. So again, I don't know the technical term for these, but they're like intaglio on the back. Now these are nice enough. I want to pull one out and see if these are maybe gold fill. They have some heft to them. I'm guessing that's a nice piece of glass in there. We'll have a look, see if maybe we have gold fill. Doesn't look like it. These are definitely going to see some repurposing, I think. They are, yeah, they are definitely plate. We'll put those away. All right, let's see if we can go through these a little quicker. So here we have lower quality. This one looks like it might be old. Let's have a look. I think it might be old, like Bakelite. It feels like Bakelite. Some kind of plastic. Looks like maybe it was it broken? No. Now that one is outside of my experience. It's light. It's definitely plastic. I'm hoping someone in the comments can tell me what this one is so that I can tell her what it is. Okay. This has a little heft to it. Let's pull it out and we'll have a look. Looks like it's a plate. Let's hit it with a magnet. Magnet doesn't hit it. Boy, I don't know. So it definitely is plate. And you can tell by the, see how thin and stamped, and some of the brass is actually coming through on the back there. Got a little bit of corrosion here. And it just isn't quite up to even like 10 karat standards of gold. It's nice though. Okay. Let's continue through here. Ooh, mother of pearl looks like. Mother of pearl, we have two different materials though, so the face was put onto it, and then we have a very cheap back. So nice, but not high end. Another mother of pearl looks a little bit nicer, but I'm seeing some indication that this is actually plate. Let's pull it out. We'll have a quick look at the back. Sometimes things that look like plate but still look really good warrant an extra check. In this case, I think we're looking at a piece of plate. We're not looking at the nicest carving. And then we have some corrosion here on the brass. So nice, but not gold. All right. Boy, that's got some heft to it. I'm thinking though, well, maybe not. Let's have a look. So this piece, just because something is super shiny doesn't necessarily mean it's not silver. In this case, I don't think it is. I think it's a nice piece of glass with some plated. But this really shiny look is often rhodium plating, which is a very nice plate for durability and for shine. Okay. Oh, that has a look of maybe silver, possibly nickel silver. Boy, this bag just never ends, does it? What do we think here? So it's all one carved piece. It's plastic of some variety. Old though. Definitely got some age to it. But I don't think it's, I think it's pretty old, but I don't think it's silver. I think it's probably, it looks like it's probably nickel silver. All right, this one keeps staring at me. Let's have a look at it. Got some nice heft. Kind of has a bit of a gold plate look to it, but let's see. Is it a true cameo or is it two pieces? Okay, so you can tell here we've got one piece on another piece, although it's almost like, no, it's plastic. So thinking we're looking at, yeah, we're looking at gold plate. Again, low quality pin right there. So nice, but definitely not high end. Okay, let's have a look here. So I think we're also looking at similar to the last one. See the quality of the carving on the cameo, and the pearls are again glued in. They're made to look like they're not glued in, but they are. And then we're seeing some corrosion. So we definitely have a brass gold-plated piece. This piece is nice, but I think, again, we're looking at a low quality. See that sort of shine in that low quality pin? All right, let's see if we can pull out something that's a little more, ooh. Okay. Here we got something, I think. So first off, these are intaglio, so these are carved in, and these are clip-on earrings. Got a real nice look to them, but I think they're probably plate. Yeah, I like them. I think they're better than your average, but they definitely are plate. And you can tell that when you look at them, you see sort of the nicks and the rough. See all this rough stuff? There's gold on top of that rough stuff. And if something's solid gold, you can't have gold on top of whatever the base material is. So that tells you that they are plate. Okay. There's, in fact, I think we can hit this one with a magnet. So that's a steel, I think it's a locket. Let's see. It's not gold, it's steel, but yeah, it's a locket. Oh, those look nice. Wow, that's cool. Is that some sort of glass? Let's pull those out and have a look. Oh, I like that. Look at that. That is cool. Oh, and you know what? It's all one piece, isn't it? I thought it might be the carving. Huh. What is the name on these earrings? Whiting Davis Company. Wow. So those are costume, but those are very cool. I'm gonna set those aside just because I think they're awesome. If anyone in the comments can tell me what's going on with these, I'd love to know. My guess would be that's glass. But boy, those are cool. I'm gonna put those in the good drawer. Speaking of the good drawer, I spotted something else. Let's have a look at it. Right away, I see some nice writing. Let's have a look at that. Argentate? Okay. So I think, and we'll look at all these pieces, but I think that generally is a type of nickel silver. But we'll see what we got going on. So we've got a ring, a necklace, and one, oh, that's sad. There's only one of the earrings. Let's check the quality of the carving. It's acceptable. Yeah, argentate. So these are, there's a few things we can see right here. See how rough this is? See how that's just stamped? We have just a plate there. We have a kind of an uneven plate around here. So this is made to look like it's silver, but it's actually nickel silver, which doesn't contain any real silver. It is, in fact, as the name might suggest, mostly nickel. Yeah. So that's neat. That's definitely neat. You can see here where it's actually corroding because it's not real silver. It's a shame the necklace is broken there and it's missing one of the earrings, but interesting. Okay, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. There's obviously a lot more here, so we'll have a third part of this. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button for me. It really helps. Leave comments about any of these things. Honestly, one of the big reasons we're doing this is so that we can get some information on some of these. She ended up with this very large collection, and I can't answer the questions for her, but I know that you folks in the audience can. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Doesn't cost anything. Just hit that subscribe button, and my videos can be delivered right to your feed. I hope you can use some of the information you learned today to go out and find yourself some treasure.
Thanks for watching.